The calendar that was used by the scholars of the Bible to calculate numbers, figures, and dates of prophecies were from the story of creation and the story of the flood of the book of Genesis. In the story of creation state that God created the world in 7 days, hence the 7 days of the week. In the story of the flood state that the flood started on the 17th day of the second month and abated on the 17th day of the seventh month. That is 5 months. And the flood prevailed 150 days. 150 days is divided by 5 months equals 30 days. And that is 30 days in a month. And multiplied by 12 months in a year equals 360 days. That is 360 days in a year. That is the calendar that the scholars of the Bible use. A week of 7 days, a month of 30 days, and a year of 360 days. Numbers in prophecies cannot be taken face value. It has a different meaning. Like the well-known number of 144,000 people that will be saved in the end times, or 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. It cannot be taken face value because it's an unfair number. If we consider the number of the population of the world at 8 billion, not even close to the population of the people of Israel, the chosen people of God that God promised to save from all disasters. There are about 10 millions. It was a question that was put to Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of the Baha'i faith. What does he think the 144,000 people that be saved in the end times meant? And he said the answer lies in the sum of the digits of 144,000. Digits are number 1 to number 9. And the sum of the digits of 144,000 is the sum of 1 plus 4 plus 4 equals 9. Number 9. And there's a group of people that identify themselves with number 9. They are about 10 million and growing. Those are the people that be saved in the end times. Now the subject of life after death. It's a delicate subject. It's a difficult subject to explain. If we consider the number of people who do not believe in life after death, like those who believe in reincarnation, which is divided into 2 divisions. One division, reincarnation, believe that we will return in the form of animals as punishment. This is called transmigration. The other division, reincarnation, believe that we will return in the form of human beings, but it will be repeated until we become perfect beings. Both division reincarnation deny the existence of life after death. Then we have Christian denominations that believe when we die, we stay in our grave until Christ's return and we will resurrect from our grave in a physical body. But it is a perfect physical body that won't die. This belief denies the existence of life after death. Then we have individuals like a well-known New Zealand theologian named Lloyd Gearing. In an article about his impending lecture at Otago University, mentioned 2 of his beliefs. One, he believed that the resurrection of Christ is not a physical resurrection. I agree with him in that belief. The other, he believed the human soul is not immortal. I disagree with him in that belief. And there is this well-known Swiss professor named Dr. Auguste Forel that wrote to Abdu'l-Baha asking him if he can embrace the Baha'i faith while still entertaining thoughts as the Muni that believe that the physical brain and the mind are inseparable. So when the physical brain dies, the mind died with it. Abdu'l-Baha revealed tablet for Dr. Auguste Forel to answer his question. I commend you this tablet by Abdu'l-Baha. It is a gem full of knowledge. Shoghi Effendi described this tablet by Abdu'l-Baha as one of the weightiest ever come from the pen of Abdu'l-Baha. And we have the atheists and the agnostics that deny the existence of a deity, which lead to denying the existence of life after death. You can see why it is difficult to explain these subjects, for the number of people who do not believe in life after death are in tens of millions, if not in hundreds of millions. For such a delicate subject, it requires clear and succinct explanations. And there are no clear and succinct explanation out there than the one given in the writings of the Blessed Beauty, His Holiness Baha'u'llah, beautifully explained by Abdu'l-Baha. Abdu'l-Baha explained that differentiation of stages in this contingent world is an obstacle to understanding. The minerals, the plants, and the animals are bereft of the mental faculties of man that discover the realities of things, but man himself is able to comprehend all the stages beneath him, for all the superior stages comprehend the inferior, but the inferior cannot understand the superior, nor comprehends its essence. So no matter how much the mineral evolve, they cannot understand or be able to gain the power of growth that the plants and trees possess. No matter how much the plants and trees grow and produce sweet fruit, will never be able to gain the power of the senses that the animals possess. No matter how much we train an animal, let's say we train a monkey, will never understand the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth orbits the sun in 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and a fraction. Will never understands the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth spins on its axis in 24 hours. Will never understand the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth tilts 24 degrees and is the cause of the 4 seasons of the earth. But this lack of knowledge of the animal does not prove there is no such thing called the abstract knowledge that man possesses, only that man is in a superior state and the animals in an inferior state, and it is impossible for the superior to be understood by the inferior. The same way is how we look into this subject of life after death. For the materialists argue they have never seen life after death. No one had died and went to the next world and came back to tell us all about it. Since they cannot prove it, the life after death, there's no such thing exist. There is no life after death. And we answer, the next life is in a superior state, and the materialists in this world are in an inferior state, and it is impossible for the superior to be understood by the inferior. There's a great difference between something that is impossible and something that is unknown. Our mobile phone 50 years ago did not exist, but that is what they called an unknown non-existent. It's not an impossible non-existent. An unknown non-existent will eventually become known. An impossible non-existent will never become possible. So the next world, which is in a superior state, to be understood by materialists who are in an inferior state, is an impossible scenario. It's not an unknown scenario that one day, after a long period of study and investigation, the materialist will be able to see and understand the next life. Besides, there is a great wisdom of why we are not shown the next life, clearly explained by the blessed beauty His Holiness Baha'u'llah in his gleanings, which I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said, the mystery of man's physical death and of his return have not been divulged, and still remain unread. By the righteousness of God, were it to be revealed, it would evoke such fear and sorrow that some would perish, and others would feel with so much gladness that they wished to die, and beseech with unceasing longing the one true God, exalted be His glory, to hasten their end. This is the wisdom. I'll use myself here to demonstrate the point. If I was a bad person in this world, and my punishment, so to speak, in the next world is shown to me, it would evoke such fear and sorrow in me that I would perish. And if I was a good person in this world, and my reward in the next world is shown to me, I will be filled with so much gladness that I wish to die, and beseech with unceasing longing the one true God, exalted be His glory, to hasten my end. In that state, you see this world has no meaning anymore to you, and you don't want to spend a moment dwelling in this dust heap. And you beseech with unceasing longing the one true God, meaning you don't stop begging God until what you're begging for is granted to you. I can picture myself in such a state. If I don't die naturally, I would probably do the deed with my own hands. Abdu'l-Baha explained further that the next world is not a place. The soul or the spirit does not descend or enter into the body, for descent and entries are characteristics of the bodies, and the spirit is exempt from it. Since we do not enter or descend, we are not in need of an abiding place when we are separated from the body. We are not in need of abiding place when we are separated from the body. Abdu'l-Baha explained further that in this world we have the freedom of movement. We move forward and backward, up and down, left or right, sideways, in whatever direction. But in the next world, we only progress forward towards the perfections of God. Progress towards the perfections of God is heaven, not progress is hell. All these teachings were revealed by Baha'u'llah, peculiar to his revelation. Some of these teachings were never before brought to humanity in the past. Baha'u'llah revealed an ocean of writings, and these writings are well kept in the archive at the headquarters of the Baha'i Faith on Mount Carmel in Haifa, Israel, and is sent to us by the Universal House of Justice in increments according to the requirements of the time. Some of these teachings are freely available in the internet. You just go to Baha'i.org and you should be able to see some of these teachings available there, freely available for you to read and study it. And we humbly encourage you to do so. Thank you, and I wish you well. Whaftailava, manuela whafongfongmaimla whasausangsamo, soifua. I wish a wonderful commemoration of the Declaration of the Bab on the 24th of May to all the Baha'is of the world. Thank you.